Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, hari ini saya Muhammad Hakim Saufi ingin menerangkan chapter-chapter yang ada di dalam ethical hacking. Okay, untuk chapter yang pertama, apa itu ethical hacking? So, ethical hacking ialah process of testing and validating an organization information security posture and maturity. So, yang kedua ialah refer to exploitation of an IT system with the permissions of its owner in order to determine its vulnerabilities and weakness. Seterusnya, results of ethical hacking are typically used to recommended preventive and corrective countermeasures that mitigate the risk of a cyber attack, all known as penetration testing, insertion testing, and red teaming. So next, the history of ethical hacking. First, ethical attacking your own defense to locate weakness has been around for 1,500 years. 1,500 years. Ethical hacking brings that practice into the digital world. Second is Netscape. The first bug bounty program was launched by Netscape in 1995. Hackers were offered reward for reporting vulnerabilities to the company before they could be exploited. Next is Google. Google paid white-hat hackers more than 1.5 million in 2014 to find bugs. And next is IBM. The term ethical hacking was first used by IBM Jones Patrick in 1995. This is a timeline of from 1939 until 2014. So, the future of ethical hacking. First, bug bounty program grow in popularity. Second, formal guidelines and practice develop. Third, certification courses become the norm. Fourth, ethical hacking practices enter IoT space. So, this is a job roles in ethical hacker. First is security analysis. Second is security testing. Third is network database and web security administrator. Fourth is forensics analysis. Five is system security tester, and the last is application security tester. Terminologies. First is vulnerability, a weakness which allow a hacker to compromise the security of a computer or network system. Second is target of evaluation is TOE, a system program or network that is subject of attack, so the target of attack. Third is remote. An attack is carried out by sending an exploit over a network to exploit security vulnerabilities in another machine without obtaining previous access to the vulnerable machines. Next is attack. An action that is done on a system to get it access and attract its data. Next is exploit, a piece of software, a chunk of data, or a sequence of commands that takes advantage of a bug or vulnerability to compromise the security of a computer or network system. So the last is threat, a possible danger that can exploit an existing bug or vulnerability to compromise the security of a computer or network system. So system hacking, the way hacker get access to individual computer on a network, and ethical hacker learn something hacking to defeat or prevent and counter the types of attack. So the goals of system hacking is, first is gaining access, second is escalating privilege, third is executing application, fourth is hiding files, and fifth is clearing tracks. So this is a hacking cycles. First is reconnaissance, second is scanning, third is gaining access, fourth is maintaining access, fifth is clearing tracks, and the last is reporting. What is reconnaissance? Reconnaissance is space where the attacker gather information about a target using active or passive means, using a tools like and map, Hashping, Multigo or Google Doc. Second is scanning. Scanning is attacker begin to actively probe a target machine or network for vulnerabilities that can be exploited using tools like Nexus, Nexpose, and Map. Third is gaining access. The vulnerabilities is located and you attempt to exploit in order to enter into the system using tools Metasploit. Fourth is maintaining access. The hacker has already gained access into a system. Hacker installs some backdoor in order to enter into the system using tools Metasploit. Fifth is clearing attack. The deletions of logs of all the activities that take place during hacking activities. So the lastly is 14. Hacker compiles a report with his findings and the job that was done, such as tools used, the success rate, vulnerabilities found, and exploit hacker. So the last is reporting of all the hacking cycle. Hacker and cracker. Hacker is constantly seek future knowledge, free share what they have discovered and never initially damage data. And cracker is the one who breaks into or otherwise violates the system integrity of remote machines with malicious intent. Type of hacker. First is white hat. White hat known as ethical hacker for penetration testing and vulnerability assessment. Find out weakness in a computer or a network system. Second one is black hat, known as cracker, hack in order to first gain unauthorized access to a system. Second is harm its operations. Third is steal sensitive information illegal because of its bad intent. And the last one is grey hat. First, to blend out both black hat and white hat hackers. Second is act without malicious intent but for their fun. Second is exploit a security weakness in a computer system or network without the owner permissions. And the last one is intent is to bring the weakness to the attentions of the owners to getting repression. Next is testing types. First is black box testing for zero knowledge. Second one is white box testing for full knowledge. And then last one is grey box testing for partial knowledge. So black box testings, the tester has no prior knowledge of the internal designs or feature of the system. Second is it simulates the internal attacker best. Third is its disadvantage is that it will probably not detect all vulnerabilities. And the last one is another disadvantage is that the testing teams may inadvertently impact another system. So white box testing. First, the tester has complete knowledge of the internal system. Second one is allow test team to target specific internal controls and features. It may yield a more complete result. It may not be representative of an external hacker. So the last one is grey box testing. Some information about internal working is given to the tester. It helps guide their tactics towards areas we want to have trophy test. And the last one is this approach mitigates the risk of the other two models. So the next is skills required. Skills required have three. First is in-depth knowledge of networking. Next, second one is expertise in various operating systems like Linux, that is various distributions. And the last one is programming. So how to conduct ethical hacking? So the way to conduct ethical hacking is first gain authorization from the client to perform tests. Second one is maintain and follow a non-disclosure agreement. Third is maintain confidentiality when performing the test. And the last one is perform the test up to but not beyond the agreed upon limit. So legal implication of hacking. First is unauthorized hacking, access hacking in Computer Crime Act 1997. Second one is DDoS attack, Communication and Multimedia Act 1998. And the last one is phishing, Malaysian Penal Code. So, rules of ethical hacking. First, initial client meeting, sign NDA with client, security evaluation plan, conduct the test, report and documentation, and present report findings. So the last one is security audit steps. This is the steps in figure of security audit. First is talk to the client and discuss the needs to be addressed during the testing. Second one is prepare and sign NDA document with the client. Third one is organize an ethical hacking teams and prepare a schedule for testing. Fourth is conduct the test. Fifth, analyze the result of the testing and prepare a report. And the last one is present the report findings to the client. Next is chapter 2, gathering target information. First is footprinting. What is footprinting? Footprinting is the process of collecting as much information as possible about the target network for identifying various ways to intrude into a organization's network system. Footprinting is the first step of any attack of information system. Attacker gather publicly available sensitive information, using which he or she performs social engineering system and network attacks. Example that leads to huge financial loss and loss of business reputation. So, footprinting ada dua. First is passive footprinting, which is collecting information without interacting with the target directly. Second one is active footprinting, which is collecting information by interacting with the target directly. So, list information. Network information such as subdomains, domains, IP address, UIS and DNS record. Second one is system information such as web server information, operating system, server location, user, passwords. And the last one is organization information, organization's background, employee information, number, phone numbers and location. So this is tools of footprinting. Montego, Shodan, Google Earth. So next is 7 steps of information gathering. First is unearth initial information. Second one is locate the network range. Third one is ascertain active machines. Fourth, discover open ports or access. Fifth, detect operation system. Sixth, uncover services on port. And the last one is map the network. First, unearthing initial informations. Part of hacking tools, example SAMSPay, commonly include domain name lookup, location, contact. Information source is open source, UIS, and NS lookup. Next is DNS enumeration. DNS enumeration is the process of locating all the DNS servers and their responding requests for an organization. DNS enumeration will yield username, computer names, and IP addresses of potential target system. Tools of DNS enumeration is DNS lookup, Montego, DNMAM, DNS recon. So countermeasure for DNS enumeration is first, disable zone transfer by untrusted host. Second one is ensure the private hostnames are not different to IP addresses within the DNS zone files of publicly accessible DNS server. So this is the DNS enumeration tools, NS lookup. Examples of NS lookup: DNS staff, Erin lookup. Information gathering using search engines with appropriate command. Next is social engineering. What is social engineering? Social engineering is art of manipulations and misdirection. It's a technique hacker used to manipulate an user and obtain information about an organization or computer system. The use of physically control to trick a person into doing something is as old as human society. The impact of attack on organization. First, economic losses. Second one is loss of privacy. Third one is lawsuits and arbitrations. Fourth one is damage of goodwill. Fifth, temporary or permanent closure. And the last one is danger of terrorism. Type of social engineering attacks. First is human-based and the second one is computer-based. Human-based, impersonation. The hacker pretend to be an employee or valid user on the system. The hacker can gain physical access by pretending to be janitor, employee, and or contractor. Second one is posing as an important user. The hacker pretend to be a VIP or high-level manager who has the authority to use computer system or files. Third one is being a third party. The hacker pretend to have permission from an unauthorized person to use the computer system. Computer-based, online scam, worm attack, phishing attack. So, social engineering countermeasure. Don't open email and attachment from suspicious source. Use multi-factor authentication. Keep your antivirus malware software updated. Backup just in case and regularly test those backups to make sure they work. Dispose the sensitive documents securely, such as shredding and incinerating. Chapter 3 is gathering network and host information. First, enumeration. Enumeration occurs after scanning and is the process of gathering and compiling user names, machine names, network resource, share and services. Hacker need to be methodical in the approach to hacking. The following steps are an examples of those a hacker might perform in preparation for hacking a target system. First, extract username using enumeration. Gather information about the host using null session. Perform Windows enumeration using the SuperScan tools. Acquire the user account using the tool GetHack. And the last one is perform SNMP port scanning. Next, determine information to be collected. First is usernames. Second one is machine names. Third one is network resources. And the last one is services. Conduct scanning to the target. First is port scanning. Port scanning is the process of identifying open and available TCP/IP ports on a system. Port scanning tools enable a hacker to learn about the services available on a given system. Each service or application on a machine is associated with a well-known port number. Port number are divided into three ranges. First is well-known ports 0 to 1023. Second one is registered port 1024 until 49,151, and third one is dynamic ports from 49,152 until 65,535. For examples, a port scanning tools that identifies port 80 as open indicates a web server is running on that system. Hacker need to be familiar with well-known port number. And the last one is network scanning. Network scanning is a procedure for identifying active hosts on a network, either to attack them or as a network security assessment. Hosts are identified by their individual IP address. Network scanning tools attempt to identify all the live or responding hosts on the network and their corresponding IP addresses. Vulnerability scanning. Vulnerability scanning is the process of proactively identifying the vulnerabilities of computer system on a network. Generally, a vulnerability scanner first identifies the operating system and version number, including service pack that may be installed. Then, the scanner identifies weaknesses or vulnerabilities in the operating system during the later attack phase. A hacker can exploit those weaknesses in order to gain access to the system. Port scanning determines open ports and services. Network scanning identifies IP addresses on given network or subnet. Third one is vulnerability scanning, discover presence of known weakness on target system. CEH scanning methodology. First, check for live system. Second, checks for open port. Third, service identification. Third, banner grabbing as fingerprint. Fifth, vulnerability scanning. Sixth, draw network diagram of vulnerability host. 7 is prepare policies, and the last one is attack. Ping sweeps technique. ICMP scanning, the process of sending an ICMP request or ping to all hosts on the network to determine which ones are up and responding to ping. Second is ICMP. ICMP begin as a protocol used to send test and error message between hosts and on the internet. It has involved a protocol utilized by every operating system, router, switch, or internet protocol. The ability to use the ICMP echo request and echo reply as a connective test between hosts both into every IP-enabled device via the command. And the last one is a quick and dirty test to see if two hosts have connectivity and it used extensively for troubleshooting. One considerable problem with the method is the personal firewall software and network-based firewalls can block the system from responding to ping sweeps. More and more systems are configured with firewall software and will block the ping attempt and notify the user that the scanning program is running on the network. Another problem is that the computer must be on to be scanned. So this is Nmap scan types and the description. And this is Nmap parameter. Waddling is the process of dialing modem number to find an open modem connection that provides remote access to a network for an attack to be launched against the target system. Fingerprint is an active attack. Active stack fingerprint is the most common form of fingerprint. It involves sending data to a system to see how the system responds. Passive attack fingerprints is stealthier and involves examining traffic on the network to determine the operation system. It uses sniffing techniques instead of scanning techniques. Passive attack fingerprint usually goes undetected by an IDS or other security system, but is less accurate than active fingerprint. NAS sessions occur when you log into a system with no username or password. Netfire NAS systems are a vulnerability found in the Common Internet File System (CIFS) or SMB, depending on the operating system. The next is once a hacker has made on NetBIOS connecting using a NAS session to a system, they can easily get a few dumps of the usernames, groups, shares, permission policies, services, and more using the NAS user account. The SMB and the NetBIOS standards in Windows include APIs that return information about a system via TCP port 139. SNP enumerations. SNP enumerations is the process of using SNP enumerate user account on a target system. Almost all network infrastructure devices such as router and switches and including Windows system contain an SNP engine to manage the system or devices. Management Information Base (MIB) is the database of configuration variables that resides on the network and networking devices. Sniffing. Sniffer software works by capturing packets not destined for the sniffer system's MAC address, but rather for a target's destination MAC address. This is known as promiscuous boot. Normally, a system on the network reads and responds on the target only to traffic sent directly to its MAC address. However, many hacking tools change the system NIC to promiscuous mode. In promiscuous mode, the NIC reads all traffic and sends it to the sniffer to processing. Promiscuous mode is enabled on a network card with the installation of special driver software. Many of the hacking tools for sniffing include a promiscuous mode driver to facilitate this process. Not all Windows drivers support promiscuous mode, so when using hacking tools, ensure that the driver will support the necessary mode. Passive and active sniffing. There are two different types of sniffing. First is passive and active. Passive sniffing involves listening, capturing, and is useful in a network connected by hubs. Active sniffing involves launching and addresses resolutions, protocol ARP, spoofing, and traffic floodings, attacks against a switch in order to capture traffic. As the names indicate, active sniffing is detectable, but passive sniffing is not detectable. So the countermeasure of sniffing, the best security defense against a sniffer on the network is encryptions. ARP allow the network to translate IP address into MAC addresses. When one host using TCP/IP online tries to contact another, it needs to MAC address or hardware address of the host is trying to reach. ARP poisoning and spoofing. ARP poisoning is a technique that used to attack an Ethernet network and that may let an attacker sniff data frames on a switch line or stop the traffic altogether. ARP spoofing can also be used in a man-in-the-middle attack in which all traffic is forwarded through a host by means of ARP spoofing and analysis of passwords and other information. Next is Chapter 4, System Hacking. Module Objective. Overview of CH hacking methodology. Understand technique to gain access to the system. Understanding privilege escalation technique. Understanding technique to create and maintain remote access to the system. Overview of different types of rootkits. Overview of steganography and stage analysis techniques. And overview of system hacking penetration testing. Information at hand before system hacking stage. System hacking goals: gaining access, escalating privilege, executing application, hiding files, covering tracks. The goal is to bypass access controls to gain access to the system, to acquire the right of another user of an admin, to create and maintain remote access to the system, to hide attacker malicious activities and data theft, to hide the evidence of compromise techniques, password cracking, social engineering, exploiting known system vulnerabilities, trojans, spyware, backdoor, keylogger, rootkits, steganography, clearing logs. This is the methodology of CHM. System hacking step. First is cracking password. Second one is escalating privilege. Third one is executing application. Fourth is hiding files. Fifth is covering track, and the last one is penetration testing. What is password cracking? Password cracking techniques are used to recover passwords from computer system. Attacker use password cracking techniques to gain unauthorized access to the vulnerable systems. And the last one is most of the password cracking techniques are successful due to weak or easily guessable passwords. Types of password attack: non-electronic attack, active online attack, passive online attacks, and offline attacks. Active online attack: dictionary, brute forcing, and root attacks. What is dictionary attacks? The dictionary files is loaded into the cracking applications that runs against user account. Brute forcing attacks is the program tries every combination of characters until the password is broken. And the last one is rule-based attack. This attack is used when the attacker gets some information about the passwords. Active online attacks: password guessing. So this is a figure of active online attacks. Next is default passwords. A default password is a password supplied by the manufacturer with new equipment such as switches, hubs, and routers. This is password protected. Attacker use default passwords in the list of words or dictionary that they use to perform passwords guessing attacks. Active online attacks: attacker installs Trojan spyware keylogger on victims' machines to collect victims' usernames and passwords. Trojan spyware keylogger runs in the background and sends back all the credentials to the attacker. Example of active online attacks using USB drive: attacker inserts USB into victim's computer and then extract the password. Active online attack: hash injection attacks. A hash injection attacks allow an attacker to inject a compromised hash into a local sessions and use the hash to validate to network resources. The attacker finds and extracts a log on domain admin account hash. The attacker uses the extracted hash to log on to the domain controller. Passive online attack: wire sniffing. Attacker run packet sniffer tools on the local area network LAN to access the raw network traffic. The captured data may include sensitive information such as passwords, FTP, login sessions, and emails. These credentials are used to gain unauthorized access to the target system. Victim: attacker in the middle. Passive online attack: man in the middle. In a man in the middle attack, the attacker acquires access to the communication channels between victims and server to extract the information. In a reply attack, packets and authentication tokens are captured using a sniffer. After the relevant info is extracted, the tokens are placed back on the network to gain access. Offline attack: rainbow table attacks. Rainbow table. A rainbow table is a pre-computed table which contains words lists like dictionary files and brute force lists and their hash values. Compare the hashes. Capture the hash of the passwords and compare it with the pre-computed hash tables. If a match is found, then the password is cracked. Easy to recover. It is easy to recover passwords by comparing capture password hashes to the pre-computed tables. Tools to create rainbow tables: Artisan and WinArtisan. Offline attack: distributed network attack. The DNA manager is installed in a central location where machines running on DNA client can access it over the network. DNA manager coordinates the attacks and allocates small portions of the key search to machines that are distributed over the network. DNA client runs in the background, consuming only unused processor time. The program combines the processing capabilities of all the clients connect to network and use it to crack password. Aconsoft distributed password recovery. This is an example of Aconsoft distributed password recovery. Microsoft Authentication. First, Security Account Manager database. Windows stores use password in SAM or in the Active Directory database domain. Passwords are never stored in clear text. Passwords are hashed and the results are stored in the SAM. Second one is NPLM authentication, and the last one is reverse authentication. How hash passwords are stored in Windows. This is how the hash passwords are stored in Windows SAM. This is how NTLM authentication process. And this is Kerberos authentication. Next is password salting. What is password salting? Password salting is a technique where random string of characters are added to the password before calculating the hash. Advantage: salting makes it more difficult to reverse the hashes and defeats pre-computed hash attack. This is the example of password salting. This is the examples of password cracking tools. Changeable firmware tag. Introduction to malware. Malware is a malicious software that damages or disables computer system and gives limited or full controls of the system to the malware creation for the purpose of theft or fraud. So this is the examples of malware: Trojan horse, virus, backdoor, worms, rootkit, spyware, ransomware, botnet, and adware. How hackers use Trojans? First, they delete or replace operating system critical files, disable firewalls and antivirus, generate fake traffic to create ghost attack, record screenshot audio and video of victim PC, use victim PC for spamming and blasting email message, download spyware, adware and malicious files, create backdoor to gain remote access, infect victim PC as a possible for relaying attack, use victim PC as a botnet to perform DDoS attack, and the last one is steal information such as password, security codes, credit card information using keylogger. Type of Trojans. This is type of Trojans. Introduction to worm and virus. A virus is a self-replicating program that produces its own copy by attaching itself to another program, computer boot sector or document. Viruses are generally transmitted through file downloads, effect disk, flash drive, and as email attachment. DOS or DDoS attack. Attacker may send numerous fake requests to the web server, which results in the web server crash or become unavailable to legitimate users. Attacker may target high-profile web servers such as banks, credit card payment gateway, government-owned services to steal user credential. So this is example DDoS attack on mobile or wireless network. Smurf attack. The Smurf attack sends a large amount of ICMP echo ping traffic to broadcast IP address with the spoof source addresses of a victim. The goal of this network attacks is to create a crash amount of traffic. A smooth attack scenario can be broken down as follows. A smooth malware is used to generate a fake echo request containing a spoof resource IP, which is actually the target server address. SYN flood attack. SYN flooding is a type of network or server degradation attack in which a system sends continuous SYN requests to the target server in order to make it overconsume and unresponsive. It is used by a hacker or a person with malicious intent to restrict the target system in fulfilling user requests and or eventually crashing it. This is examples of SYN attack. Botnet attack. A bot is short for web robot and is an automated software program that behaves intelligently. Spammers often use bots to automate the posting of spam messages on news group or the sending of emails. Bots can also be used as remote attack tools. This is anatomy of a botnet attacks from criminal to target. First, criminal infect your computer with malware. Second, criminal sends attacks order to server. Third, your infected computer retrieve the order. Fourth, your computer carries out the order attacking the target. This is how to prevent your computer from becoming a zombie. Session hijacking. Session hijacking refers to an attack where an attacker takes over a valid TCP communication session between two computers. Since most authentication only occur at the start of TCP sessions, this allows the attacker to gain access to a machine. Attacker can sniff all the traffic from the established TCP session and perform identity theft, information theft, and fraud. Fraud is the attacker steal a valid session ID and use it to authenticate himself with the server. Impact of web server attack. First, compromise of user account. Second is website defacement. Third one is secondary attack from the website. Fourth is root access to other application or server, and the last one is data tampering and data theft. This is my misconfigurations of the web server. This is web application attack. Vulnerabilities. This is web server vulnerabilities. First is custom web application. Second is third-party web application. Third is web server. Fourth is database. Fifth is application. Sixth is operating system, and the last one is network. This is web server attacking tools, which is Metasploit. It is THC Hydra and Bluetooth. This is countermeasure, page and update, and protocols. Wireless hacking. Advantages. Installation is fast and easy and eliminate wiring through walls and ceilings. It's attack countermeasure. This is how to defend against wireless attack. Wireless attack countermeasure continue. This is wireless security layer, wireless signal security, data protection, connection security, network protection, device security, and end user protection. So that's all for chapter 5.